Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna do this super quick. My name is Shinobazu, if you don't already know. What you guys are about to watch is my live panel from Shinecon. I like to do a lot of local Vegas conventions as well as a couple of conventions abroad, where I kind of just speak a little bit about being a Twitch streamer, going for partners, starting up, and going for affiliate. And also, I just do a dark side panel. This panel in particular is just my partner panel. I'm normally given 2 hours for this panel, but at this event I was only unfortunately given an hour, so I made the most of the time. A lot of the times, even though I have kind of a base curriculum of stuff I go over, I spend a lot more time kind of interacting with the audience, taking their questions, and trying to do my best to answer what they want to know about being in the panel or being on Twitch. So if you're at the event at ShineCon, leave a like, let me know, or let me know in the comments down below. You might hear your question here. If you weren't able to go but just kind of want to know what the panel was like, this is pretty much it. It's barely edited. I pretty much just made it a little loud. I do apologize if it's a little too loud for you guys. Let me know next time I'll turn it down, or you can always just, turn it down in the video. And I do apologize about a bit of the background noise. We weren't able to close the door during the first panel to kind of like help keep some of that out. But for the most part, I sound pretty clear, so you can hear me, you can hear the people asking questions relatively well. But if you guys do have any questions or anything like that, please let me know. This is, again, it's pretty much a pure, unedited hour or 45 minutes of the panel. So check it out. Hope you enjoy it. And please, if you have any critiques on how to improve the panel or anything, let me know in the comments down below as well. Either way, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys a little bit later, right? Tomorrow night at 8 or 9.
It's on Saturday at the very bottom of the schedule.
Yeah, it's called the Dark Side of Twitch. If there's anything I don't cover here and you want to ask me about later, you're more than welcome to. But I guess it's time to get this started. Alright? It was not this hot earlier wearing 2 shirts, and now all of a sudden it's like really hot. So, anyway. Hello. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys don't know, my name is Shinobazu. I'm your gaming and anime ninja. I am a partner Twitch streamer. I've been streaming on Twitch. I've been on the platform of Twitch on and off for... It sounds really weird using this microphone. Like, it's getting like a weird echo in my ear. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I feel like there's like, like when you're like, your ear's about to pop? It feels like my right ear is about to pop the entire time I'm using this. It's so weird. Just... I feel like my head's gonna explode or something, like talking to the microphone. Anyway, I've been on and off the platform of Twitch trying to stream for about 7 years. I've been streaming for about the last 2.5 years as like a part-time job, and I've been streaming full-time as a Twitch streamer, so like quitting my normal job, which I used to work for Microsoft, and quitting that job to stream full-time, so basically living the life as a full-time internet content creator. So, I do a lot of different panels at different conventions, both in town and out of town. I've spoken at PAX East, TwitchCon, Level Up Expo here in town, a few other conventions. So I'm more just here now to I like doing local conventions because I like meeting with people locally, just because, one, if they ever have any follow-up questions, they can catch me somewhere in town and bug me, or I can actually like have one-on-one, moments to actually help people go over their stream. This panel in particular, we're just going to be focusing on like what it takes to be a Twitch partner, i.e. like going full-time. Do you guys mind if I just talk, or do I need this?
No, yeah.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Alright, cool. Because I swear I'm going to like punch a baby if I have to use this thing any longer. I'm just like, alright, well thank you. Yeah, cool. Anyway, yeah, that just sounds weird. Like, it literally sounds like I'm like in a box underwater. It's like, I'm like, oh my god, it's giving me
a speech jamming effect, and you're just like trying to focus on just hitting it yourself.
Anyway, so long story short, I stream full time on Twitch. It's my only job, my only source of income. So today's panel is just basically talking about, for me, at least sharing some of the things. If this thing doesn't unlock, I'm gonna punch it in the face instead. It's basically me. Oh really? It's basically me talking about what it takes to be a full-time content creator on Twitch, what you should be looking for in terms of like how to grow for partner, what kind of things help you get the partner, and then what you should expect as a partner Twitch streamer, what changes in terms of payout. It's more of an interactive panel. I have like a list of 10 things that I like to go over. They're kind of like some basics, but if at any point in time, if say you want to know more about something, or if there's something that I haven't necessarily talked about but kind of falls in that category and you guys want to ask questions, please feel free, raise your hand, I'll call you out. If I don't get to you for whatever reason, write it down. Like if I'm talking to someone else, write it down so you don't forget it. And then when I get to you, we'll go like that. All right? Cool. So how many of you guys already have a Twitch account here in chat or here in the room? Yeah, here in chat. Sorry, still in Twitch mode. Okay. How many of you guys have streamed before on Twitch? Okay. What game have you streamed?
League of Legends, Maple Story, Warcraft, Heroes of the Storm, StarCraft 2. Just kind of a lot of basically multiplayer games for the most part.
What are you more excited for, Maple Story 2 or Battle of Azeroth?
Maple Story 2 off the pure fact that, yeah, it's Maple Story 2. It's like 20 fucking years later and they finally were like, oh, here you go, dude. Like,
A sequel.
not only as, like, for me, how I feel towards Battle of Azeroth, it's literally, I think, a cop-out for Blizzard saying, yeah, WoW is done. We're done. This is it. Like, if you don't like this, sorry.
How do you feel? You hear about them burning down that tree?
It's worse for me because I'm a hardcore Night Elf fan.
I'm sorry, I had to do it. It was an order. What about you? What do you stream?
Mainly Dark Souls, Bloodborne, some League of Legends.
Have you tried Neo at all?
Yeah, I played Neo a little bit when it came out, but it didn't quite grasp my attention as much as Dark Souls did.
Fair enough.
Definitely gonna get into though. I heard like Monster Hunter World's pretty good for like more open world kind of style, mixing with like Dark Souls kind of mechanics. So actually about doing that, and then definitely Sekiro when it comes out. I usually just kind of do playthrough kind of streams. Just play through single player games, kind of just play through the entire game and kind of go through every single bit of the game.
100%ing them?
Kind of almost 100%ing them, but like trying to at least find items that you just kind of like get with the first playthroughs, kind of going to every single kind of cranny for just little items that people usually miss out or little Easter eggs that they might miss, something like that.
What about you, boss? What do you stream?
I normally, like when I first started, I normally just streamed a lot of like different like fighting games. So I was really into like Injustice, Mortal Kombat, a little bit of like Marvel here and there. But I recently started using Twitch as an excuse to finally kill my backlog of like all the story games that I've been like missing out on. So like I've beaten I finally got to play through Last of Us, Ratchet and Clank. I sprinkle in a little bit of For Honor now and then, but I'm also working through Doom right now, and I've got like a lineup going. Like, so I'm waiting to do Nier, and then in the next couple months, I'm also planning on doing like a Road to Devil May Cry 5, where I go through all the Devil May Cry games on Dante Must Die mode. So yeah,
I screamed so bad when they announced that.
Oh yeah, I was literally like playing like the theme song I guess they got for the trailer like on my stream last night. Like everyone's like it just kind of came on through YouTube autoplay, and there was like a bunch of girls in my chat. It's like, oh my god, Devil May Cry 5! I'm like, yo, relax. Dante's not even on the screen, ladies. Put your pants back on. Relax. But no. All right. Well, if you guys don't know, I know this is probably a lot of you guys' first time meeting me. I got partnered through a game called Dead by Daylight. It's a multiplayer asymmetrical survivor horror game. I was one of the more notable survivors in the game. So the game is basically, for those who don't know, it's kind of like a 4v1 Left 4 Dead Evolve style game where like there's one serial killer trying to kill 4 basically innocent survivors, or not so innocent survivors like myself. And I was kind of known as one of like, the globetrotters, if you will, for kind of running the killers around the map for a long time, and that's kind of my claim to fame. I'm currently moving over into being more of a World of Warcraft streamer with a little bit of variety, so I play a lot of story-based games when they come out. For example, Detroit Become Human, God of War. I'll be getting down to the new Red Dead when that drops, but in between time, a lot of my main focus for the past month or so has actually been on World of Warcraft prepping for Battle of Azeroth and all the stuff that entails between. That being said, over my time as a streamer, one of the things I think I noticed best although it is great to do a lot of variety of games, and you always want to make sure you're having fun when you're streaming. And one of the first things I wanted to talk about here is, when you're trying to grow as a streamer, especially if you're trying to push a partner, it's generally a lot easier if you have either a set game or like a set slew of games. So like even if you're doing, say, like Dark Souls, if you have like a day where like we do Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, or Bloodborne, but staying within a genre, if you will. So even if you're doing, say, Battle Royales like Fortnite and PUBG, you can kind of switch in between those. Whatever your game is, just having kind of a set style so that when people come into your stream, they know what to expect from it. Ultimately, as a content creator, one of the things you want is you want people to basically, obviously, you want people to come to your stream for you. However, it's a lot easier to grow a community around a game first and then a personality. The way I kind of explain this, or kind of throw it akin to, is if you think about your best friends, whether the people you're sitting in this room with now or some of your best friends from school, you guys didn't immediately start off best friends, willing to do everything together. You guys usually started off having to be in the same place, whether that was in classroom or a sports team or extracurricular activity. And after spending so much time doing that one thing that you were both just already at, you guys decided you guys wanted to be friends, and then it didn't matter what you went to. So you can branch out to other games, but I think a really big and important part of it, I swear if this thing doesn't work, but a really big and important part of that is having some sort of consistency. So when people come to your channel, they have some idea of what to expect, even if it's not exactly the same. They still have some idea of what to expect in the game. What do you got?
I just want to know, on the topic of like switching games or having games kind of be like a linear schedule for yourself, and then partially it being enjoyable. Have you? I don't know if you know this streamer, but if you do, how do you feel about Dyrus completely giving up on League and telling people like stop telling me to stream League?
Every streamer goes through that at one point in time or another. I'm currently going through that with Dead by Daylight because pretty much everybody wants me to go back to breaking killers' ankles, and I get nothing but a slew of messaging of, hey, like, these killers are getting cocky, you gotta come back, and blah, blah, blah. It happens. One of the main reasons why I say it's good to have maybe a genre of games, or at least have a schedule, is burnout is a really real thing. Dyrus probably has more time in League of Legends than I have in Dead by Daylight, and that's saying a lot because I'm at about 5,000 hours, but I'm sure he's probably, when he was playing professionally, he was scrimming no less than 8 to 12 hours a day, like 6-7 days a week, and he did that for at least a good 3-4 years, if not longer, to be honest. So with that in mind, I can't imagine the amount of time he's racked up in League of Legends. So between having an insane amount of time playing League and just also probably not just being in a super happy place when it comes to League of Legends, if you've been playing League recently, it's been kind of a jungle there. I did a little League of Legends on the side myself. It's one of those things you generally want to wean your community off, but it's one of those things where like it's a bullet you kind of have to bite. One of the, I guess a triumph story of that would probably be a good friend of mine named 72 Hours, or Tom. If any of you guys follow the Fortnite scene, he's on Liquid right now. He started off as like a huge Dead by Daylight streamer, well, a small Dead by Daylight streamer. He blew up, not almost seemingly overnight, but he was probably one of the biggest Dead by Daylight streamers in the directory. Had montages with hundreds of thousands of views. Everybody was like asking to play with him. He got a custom cosmetic in the game, the whole 9 yards, literally getting thousands of dollars in donations. But just kind of, like I personally feel now, hated the direction that game was going, hated the constant, like, the way the game was changing, and it just wasn't as fun or entertaining for him anymore. And it kind of got to the point where, at least for us, especially at the highest level of Dead by Daylight, it's very similar to League of Legends, where everybody kind of knows each other. So once everybody knows you, everyone's either trying to meme with you or trying to make a name for themselves on your stream. Either way, it's very rare that you get to play a straight up game, and that just kind of got tired for him. So he quit Dead by Daylight. He tried streaming other games for the longest time, but literally his entire chat would just be like, yo, DVD when? Yo, when are you gonna go back to DVD? Yo, are you gonna do another montage? Dead by Daylight, yo, do a 360, big spin streamer, please. So on and so forth. And that continued for like months when he tried playing H1Z1, he tried playing PUBG, he tried playing League, which is actually when he had started streaming. That's why he has his name 72 Hours, which is from his League of Legends account name, one of his alts, or one of his Smurf accounts basically. And eventually ended up quitting streaming altogether because he just got tired of it, just got tired of everyone saying like, hey, DVD win streamer. But a few months ago he came back, right during the Fortnite boom with Ninja and all that. He'd been playing a lot of Fortnite off stream and was just really good. He used his talent from making DVD videos to making a couple Fortnite montages and things like that. And then he ended up getting picked up by FaZe Clan, and things didn't necessarily work out with FaZe Clan. He scrimmed with a couple other teams, really liked working with other teams. FaZe was nice enough to release him. But mind you, when he came back, when he was playing DVD, he could easily pull 800 to 1,600 viewers without like blinking an eye. He had a legendary stream where he lost his account and the devs gave him an account back, and he basically sat there basically playing point and click, leveling up his characters for 8 hours to 1,000 viewers just because people wanted to watch DVD that much with him just literally spinning blood points. And when he played H1Z1, he'd only get about 200, which was really rough in comparison, at least, more than an 80% drop off. However, he just stuck with it. He kept making Fortnite videos. He got picked up by a big team. Still only averaging for the longest time about 400 viewers, which again is really low for him. But then there was actually just last week they had a summer skirmish, and at that summer skirmish, him and his teammate placed 6th, winning him $46,000. Which was, if you guys don't know, 6th place, 46 grand for 6th place is kind of ridiculous, but it was a huge thing for him. He got a lot of hype for being in the top teams. He actually was one of the teams that killed Ninja, which obviously gets you a lot of attention in those types of events. So having that much attention around him during that stream, he peaked at about 15,000 viewers, which is higher than he'd ever gotten playing streaming DVD. So it took a long time. It's been about 3 or 4 months since he started streaming Fortnite. And it's even been longer since he quit DVD, but it's one of those things where if you're not having fun playing the game, it's gonna show. You might help your stream in the short term, so like you might keep your numbers up, keep your subs up, whatever, in the short term, but it's going to have a negative effect on you as a streamer in the long term, and thus have a negative effect on your stream. You'll become more likely to lash out at people, more likely to pop off. Not to say that people getting angry or being super emotional isn't a good thing for streaming, but you're more likely to do that outside of streaming as well, which might hurt future deals, might turn some viewers away, but also might close certain doors for you that you might be looking forward to needing or using in the future. So in the terms of Dyrus, quitting League of Legends is probably like one of the hardest things he'll probably have to do in terms of a streaming career up until this point. But when it comes to something like that, it's just about grinding through that and getting to the point where you enjoy it. For me personally, I've left DVD for about a month now. It's been 30 days since I dropped DVD. I went from being out and tired after streaming for 6 hours to not wanting to go to sleep and streaming for 12 hours, which is why I'm on about 2 hours of sleep right now. Because I was up all night playing World of Warcraft, talking about anime, and dicking around with my stream. So I think your stream will be better for it. Even if the numbers aren't there immediately, your stream will be better for it. And as long as you're doing what you love and you enjoy, the numbers will come eventually. It's just about staying consistent and staying at least consistent in what you're doing, but what you're happily doing, not just staying consistent and grinding out a game that you hate or think should never have been made, like Super Smash Bros. 4, but we'll get to that later. No! I'm playing. Any other questions on that? Alright. I'm gonna open this up. I have like a little thing that my computer is hating me right now, so I'm just gonna pull this up on my phone real quick and hope it doesn't explode. It's a Samsung, in case you're wondering why I'm worried about it exploding. There you go, partner, bam. Next thing, I think is really important, when you're trying to go for partner and you're trying to make it like a job, as far as I'm concerned, you gotta treat it like a job. You could be like a fun job or like a part-time job or the job you're looking forward to, but you do kind of need to treat it as a job in the sense of you gotta set a schedule. A lot of people kind of like to stream when they can, and I'm not saying, don't do the best advice is always gonna do what you can, when you can, as often as you can. thought we had Sonic Fox coming in for a second. I was like, yo, trying to give me the hands and fighters real quick, sir? Like, what's going on? I don't got Shenron here, dude. I'm sorry.
I am not Sonic Fox. That's racist.
Yo, what?
That's so racist.
I'm sorry.
Who are you?
Shino, who are you?
Shinaguma?
No, Shinobazu. That's racist. You assume all Shinos look alike? Wow.
I can't see. Screw you.
You saying it's because I'm dark in here, huh? That's double racist. Racist against my name and my skin.
Who might throw this at you? I have tomatoes.
Anyway. But, as I was saying, basically, one of the things that kind of helps your growth when you're trying to grow as a streamer is just consistency. Even if you're streaming a small game, if people know when to expect you online and when to expect you to be there, that's a big part of growing your stream. When I did my partner push, and when I actually got partnered, I did something really crazy. I did basically a no days off situation where I streamed for 145 days without taking a day off. At the same time from 11 p.m. to about 6 in the morning. Very commonly going past 6 in the morning. But would go from 11 at night to 6 in the morning every day. And the consistent thing in my stream was there were people coming in and like every day they'd be like, hey, just woke up, or hey, getting my cup of coffee, hey, getting ready to catch the bus to school, or I'm on lunch break, whatever. People were coming into my streams at the same times, but they were able to do that because I was always live at those times. So like, they knew like if it was Monday through Friday or whatever the day was, if they turned on their computer and pulled up Twitch, I would be live. So it was kind of, people were expecting me to be there, people were expecting to see their friends at a certain time, and it just kind of essentially created a habit. And personally, that's probably like one of the most important parts about growing a stream or growing a community, is you want to make coming to your stream a habit for those people. Even if it's only a habit of something they do on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or like so they only do it on the weekends or they only do it at the start of the week, you want to kind of essentially train them to know like, if I come at this time, I know he'll be there. So if I feel like I don't have anything else to watch, even if I don't go every single day, if Wednesday comes around and I don't have anything to do, I know it's 8 o'clock, I know Shino's gonna be live. So I feel like that's a big part of for me growing it. For all the people I know who are currently growing right now that I'm working with, all of the ones who are staying consistent and sticking to a schedule and making that schedule public are seeing a lot of growth and seeing positive momentum in the stream. And those who aren't necessarily to be as able consistent are seeing a little bit of stagnation or a little bit of like some issues going on there, but they know that it's due to the fact that they're being inconsistent, so people don't necessarily know when they're live. It's great to have a Twitter and to have a Discord and have things to be able to tell people, hey guys, I'm live, but if you don't have any of those things, if you're on at the same time every day, people won't need those things. They'll just know that you're there. Like, because I said, it's something you do. Everybody used to watch MTV or something when they woke up for school in the morning. Everybody has their thing. Right now, there's a lot of people who watch Ninja when they get up for school in the morning. If you want to kind of have growth, you need to be that same guy, whether it's them coming home from school, going on lunch break, or lunch break at school or at work, or taking the bus or whatever. You want to have a set time that they know they can find you so that you can grow that community that way. What up?
I know most people in here, they're either amateur streamers or becoming amateur streamers. Can you kind of take me to the beginning? What is streaming? How do I get started? What tools do I need?
It's cool.
I know there's like some type of Elgato situation, stuff like that. And then I think with moving from part-time to full-time, can you talk about when was the right jump to make that?
Fair
I
enough.
spent 2 weeks talking to me about that. Should I not? Do what you
So
want.
take me to the beginning. What do you need? What's the equipment you need? What's the basic setup? Obviously, there's Twitch.com as an option.
Well, if you're just getting started out streaming, you've got a lot of questions. To get started, depending on what you have at home, a lot of people use computers or PCs for streaming, but if you've got an Xbox or Xbox One or a PS4, you can actually stream directly from your console, and a lot of what you need is just built directly into the console. And if you're streaming from your console, all you really need to do is just get on a computer and make a Twitch account first, and then you can just link your Twitch account to your Xbox or PS4 or Mixer account and just hit start broadcasting and you'll go live. It's pretty much plug and play if you're doing it via console. If you're doing it via PC, you'll want to get a broadcast software. There's a lot of different ones out there. Most people use OBS. There's a couple other ones. I've been sponsored by BMO in the past. I've used XSplit. I think all of them are great, but I think OBS is probably the best one for newer people just because there's a lot more people using it. It's open source, and it's a lot better to receive support if you're running into issues with OBS, just because it's what everybody's rocking. As for making the jump from part-time to full-time, if you're a partner and you're looking to go full-time, I wouldn't recommend doing it at less than 500 subs. That's generally where you get a change in your payout from a 50-50 split with Twitch to a 70-30 split with Twitch. But you've got to decide that for yourself, what your income rate is. You know, some people might need to be at 1,000 subs. Some people could be at 250 subs. The other thing I would say is always try to make sure you have at least 6 months of living expenses saved up front before trying to go full-time. That way, just in case if you didn't make a dime for 6 months for whatever the reason, say you got banned on Twitch for doing something stupid or whatever, and you can't stream for 30 days, and you've got to rebuild your stream afterwards. That way, you're just taken care of, so you're not worried about your rent. You're just worried about growing your stream and doing more since you're full-time. You got a question, Mouse?
I was curious about Elgato because I personally only used it off of from friends who have put it into their equipment. But the biggest part I have is OBS is great, it's free. But if you do have the money to be able to buy one of the Elgato streaming cards, they generally give you their software that works with the card, and it has they link you to videos to where you can be like, this is how you set up your card. This is how you set up the software.
So like mic, camera, Elgato, laptop situation,
laptops work great. Microphones are really good. I'd always say you don't necessarily have to have a webcam for streaming. I 100% recommend a mic. I only know one consistently no mic streamer who's one of the best Doom speedrunners in the world. So people show up for his no mic Doom speedruns or for his no mic DVD play because he's just really good at what he does. But unless you are the very best at what you do, just starting out, highly recommend a microphone because at the very least, if people could go anywhere to watch the game, they're coming to their stream to watch you. So you've got to be able to give them something. And if you're choosing to not rock a webcam, which I know plenty of people who've gotten partnered without it, that's perfectly fine. But what your face would normally give them in terms of expression, reaction, your voice has to make up for if you're not going to have it there. So don't necessarily think you have to have a webcam, but it does help out a lot, especially for reaction shots. But if you're the type of person who screams and talks all through a horror film, you'll probably be fine without it. You could just make sure you use your horror film voice during most of your stream, and you'll be alright. Cool. Alright, no more questions. Move on to the next part. I swear. Number 3, be genuine. Seems like a no-brainer, right? Super cheesy. Be yourself. The reason why I say that is really important. If you talk to Ninja or any of the other people, how many people in this room know who Logan Paul is? All right. How many of you guys went to Logan Paul's stream? Yeah, didn't miss much. Logan Paul's very first stream had about 240,000 viewers. Almost broke a crazy amount of Twitch records. His stream 2 weeks from them had about 20,000 viewers. He had a huge drop off, and a big part of what it was is during the Ninja blow up, there was a lot of YouTubers who saw potential in Twitch and kind of wanted to run over to Twitch and make their name on that website. However, Twitch is a much different beast than YouTube. At the end of the day, if you're going for partner, you're doing this anywhere from 4 to 8 hours a day, 3 to 5 days a week. It's really hard to fake being something you're not for 40 hours a week. It's just really hard. When you see your average Logan Paul, Rice Gun YouTube video, hey guys, what's up? Ali A here. I've got all this energy and we're ready for our brand new Fortnite video. Oh my God, I missed that headshot. And when they're streaming, when people go to their stream, they expect that same energy, but they realize keeping up that high energy ability all the time for 8 hours is actually really hard. There's very few people who can actually do that, and it's one of those, I don't want to say it like exposes you, but it does expose you for who you are. If you're not being genuine, you're not being yourself, it'll show on stream. It's gonna come out in one way or another. So you'll be better off if you're just being yourself and being true to who you are and what you like and what you want to be, than trying to be something you're not to fulfill a role that you think Twitch is looking for, or your audience is looking for. I had a friend of mine, this is an extreme example of this. He always hit his Jersey accent when he spoke on stream. I actually thought he sounded like gay when he did it. I honestly thought he was gay for a while. I was like, hey, do you? But then I guess after about a year of doing it, he dropped his accent. I guess it slipped. He said his accent slipped one night when he was doing a drunk stream. People were really confused. And then eventually he just said screw it and decided he wasn't going to do the accent anymore, or wasn't going to hide his accent anymore. And he ended up apparently, as he said, losing a lot of viewerships for it. A lot of people assumed something about him and made adjustments based on what they thought his stream was and who he thought he was. And so when he revealed like who he really was and just started being a lot more genuine and a lot more honest with his viewers, he had a huge drop off in his viewership for a long time. He's built it back up now and built it far beyond what it was, but he was only able to do that by basically dropping the act and pretending to not be who he is from, which is Jersey. A guy with a Jersey accent and talks a lot of trash like people from Jersey. That's kind of his claim to fame now. But by embracing who he is, he was able to do a lot more than by hiding it. Same thing with like people like Sonic Fox, as you guys know, who's been embracing a lot of who he is in terms of his extracurricular activities on main stage and things like Evo and things like that. But it's brought him a little bit of controversy, but it's also brought him a lot more notoriety, but also a lot of support from a community that is always looking for heroes to stand up and represent who they are. And that's why a lot of people are really excited and happy for Sonic Fox. Man, I don't know if anybody saw Evo and watched those fights. That was rough, man. When you call Shenron twice and he tells you he can't help you, that's rough. Shenron tells you it's beyond his power.
Can we switch seats?
Yikes. Oh, man. Can we switch seats? No, man. The look on Goichi's face, though, can we switch seats? Bruh. After you just caught this 3-0? Nah, bruh. I'm player one. That's like the little brother conversation right there. All right. Then you have a question?
How do you feel about nothing?
I'm happy he's made his final Venom transformation. My man went from basically being like a straight up DBZ villain to actually being like, he's getting his own movie now. As you can see, Venom's got a good movie coming out where he's like an anti-hero. But I'm happy for him. Happy he won that tournament. I'm still mad at what he did to Chillin. That's really messed up. Also mad at what. If you guys don't know what Leffen did, he's a really famous Swedish Smash Bros player who talks a lot of trash, and he's backed it up in some crazy money matches, including the Salty Sweet with Mango. But the first time I found out about Leffen or really got to know Leffen was a particular was it first to 5 Fox match with another old school Smash player named Chillin. They didn't play for money. They basically played for the rights to use Fox's default skin. So whoever lost the match could never run default Fox in a tournament again. And Chillin or Leffen 5-0'd him. It was pretty rough. They had Chillin looking like Krillin. it was looking pretty bad, but it was a cool thing. What was hilarious is it didn't stop there though, because immediately after he beat Chillin, Mango got on stage and bet him $5,000 that if he saw him in pools, he would body him. And then he bodied Mango in pools. And instead of, being a gracious winner like everybody else, he was gracious. But the very next day on his stream, he changed his top donator to Mango for 5 Gs. So everybody knew what happened. It was pretty rough, I'm not gonna lie. That was my introduction to Leffen, and he's always kind of been the villain in his scene. So for him to go through all of that and then come out as the winner of Evo, and his ups and downs, his trash talk, and he's been in a lot of controversy too, but to go through all that and finally win his first Evo after getting smashed in like Apex and stuff like that, I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him as like becoming the anti-hero, if you will. He's become a nicer guy too. That was a big part of it, by the way. He had to have his change of heart, but yeah. All right, gotta go a little bit faster because I'm running out of time here. But number 4, for if you're trying to push for becoming a Twitch partner, trying to be, is part of what I'm doing right here. It's be active with your community. If you don't have a Twitter, make one. If you don't have a Discord, make one. If you don't have a Facebook page, make one. If you don't have a Snapchat, make one. If you don't have an Instagram, make one. You should have all 5 of those things. You should be on all 5 of those things. I only recommend that you pick 2 and get really good at 2 of them because you don't have to be great at everything. I'd highly recommend making Twitter one of them. So whether you're just really active on Twitter and then have an active Discord, or really active on Twitter and have an active Instagram, or whichever 2 you want. The reason why I highly push Twitter is because Twitter is just kind of the way the business world is working right now, especially when it comes to streamers. I got flown out to PAX East to speak at PAX East because I responded to a Twitter post from one of the Twitch employees. I got an early access copy of Far Cry 5 and got to play and review Far Cry 5 early, only because I responded to someone's post on Twitter. I actually had a sponsorship last month with Cardi B promoting her new song I Like It or whatever, and that again was only because I responded to a Twitter post. So a lot of things take place and happen on Twitter, whether it's getting early access to games, getting into special events. A bunch of my friends are doing the tuning exams for Shinobi Strikers, and they all got into that from responding to a tweet from one of Namco Bandai's reps. So when it comes to streaming in terms of the business side of it, a lot of it takes place on Twitter. So make a Twitter, try to make it as close to your Twitch name as possible, and at the very least you should be posting every time you stream. I would say you're doing your Twitter a disservice if you only post when you go live, but at the very least you should have a Twitter to post when you're going live and when you're doing special events so that people can follow you. And it's the best way in my opinion to interact directly with your audiences when you're not live on Twitch. Yes?
I'm not a huge fan of Twitter, but you're like the 700 person that's told me like,
You need a Twitter.
If anything else, Twitter.
Gotta have a Twitter, dude.
It's just crazy. I don't feel it's very.
Might not like it, but business goes down Twitter. The president uses Twitter. Like, how dumb that sounds.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Like,
Twitter, like real talk. Like, you know how everybody's like, yo, Facebook's blowing up. Buy the stock in Facebook. Like, Twitter.
yeah.
Buy stock in Twitter.
Here's the thing. Don't buy stock in Twitter. Here's the thing. Twitter, in terms of your attention, is going up. Twitter's stock value is plummeting because Twitter doesn't know how to monetize their platform.
Twitter doesn't make money.
Yeah, they don't
make money. Yeah. It makes you money.
Exactly, it makes you money.
The one thing that I've noticed about Twitter, like for gaming and Twitch specifically, is
it can get you in trouble.
Yeah, it's
Watch your mouth.
Everybody shit talks there. That's where a lot of money matches started. Was Shadow Fox. Talk some shit now, and then they'll be like, "Oh yeah, like I got you, bro. Like I'll meet you there."
So what are money matches? I'm sorry.
Money matches are basically like betting matches. Like I'll bet you $5 you can't whoop me.
Yeah.
It's basically what a money match is.
So it's people talking trash and being stupid.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
So now they're like, now I'm gonna talk trash, and now I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is.
And usually other people end up backing it too. So I'll admit I won $10 on Leffen versus Chillin'. But hear me out. I didn't want it to be a blowout though, but I knew who was gonna win that.
Oh, that's bad.
I'm so sorry if somebody already asked this, but first of all, I'm the worst person to be here because I don't know anything about games, but I'm just curious.
Alright.
When you are on Twitch, do you feel like for females they have to develop like kind of an idol persona, for guys they have to develop more of a relatable persona?
That is a good question actually, but it's hard to say. I think with it is kind of a split. with a lot of the female streamers I follow, with most of the streamers I follow in general, I only go to your stream for one or two reasons. Either like the community or interaction, or for high level gameplay. So like, if you aren't the best at what you do, if you're not talking in your chat, I'm not in your stream. That's just it. Like, I watch Ninja, not because of the interaction, because you have to pay for interaction with Ninja. I watch Ninja because he is like low-key one of the best, or high-key one of the best Fortnite players out right now. There's debatable, like, who else is up there with him, but he's like high-key still one of the best players. So I go to a stream for high-level play. If you were to go to my stream, even though like I do have like high-level play for a majority of the games I play, people go to my stream for either the high-level play or to talk to me about what happened in the last episode of My Hero Academy. So it's like, it's a very even split. With most of the female streamers I go, and unfortunately this isn't like indicative to say that the girls can't be good, because there are some really good female streamers, but most of them I usually don't see in terms of like the high level play. Like, I don't see them at tournaments and things like that. So if I go to their stream, I generally go for the interaction. I can't say I know any that go for the idol route, but I do know a few that do go for that more of like an idol route, as opposed to just being super relatable as like we're best friends, but more of the like, hey, I'm really cool. But if I'm completely honest, I feel like the streamers I know who have done best and got partnered and have the highest viewership are generally the ones who are more relatable. Not to say that the idol route, like that route isn't particularly good, but from what I've seen, at least in the past year, for people who started streaming to getting partnered, the people who are more relatable and people feel like they have a connection to seem to do better, as opposed to the people who kind of, it's hard to go for the idol route if you're not, how do I put it, doing something to be idolized, which on Twitch, a lot of times what people idolize in that like perspective would be either the high level gameplay, or like with Amarath, the high level cosplay, and high level cringe. But like, if you essentially in order to fit that idol role, you have to have something that you excel at that some other people would see as worthy of idolizing. So I personally feel like people have more consistent success with being relatable than being like idolized. The same thing honestly with Ninja. I don't think Ninja is popular because he's like an idol. A lot of his success, in my honest opinion, the same with both Ninja and Ice Poseidon, who I've been doing a lot of homework on recently. If you guys know Ice Poseidon is, that's like the opposite of what you'd want to be on Twitch. But a lot of both of their success comes from them being extremely relatable. And I watched literally hundreds of videos over the past like 2 months about Ice Poseidon, Trainwreck, Greek God, Tyler One, Mitch Jones, and all of the Soda Pop and all those top streamers. And in every one of those videos, one of the key things that I hear from every one of them is that their audience feels like they're just one of them. Asmongold is a pretty good WoW streamer, but Asmongold is where he is because every other WoW streamer feels like they are Asmongold. So they're able to relate to him on a level that they just can't relate to a lot of other streamers. I got you. That they just can't relate to a lot of other streamers. So I feel like relatability, if you're looking at everyone who blew up in the last year, outside of Dr. Disrespect, anyone who's pulling more than 1,000 viewers is doing it because everybody feels like they're them. So I would say focus on being relatable first, and then if you end up working on a trait that people idolize, you can use that as well. There's no reason of why you can't both if you want. Got a question?
Yeah, I do. So I've been on Twitch for about a month now, and what's one of the, if you can't really use Twitter because say you were banned, I'm not gonna give reasons.
Mama Kun's banned from Twitter and she makes it work, so I feel
would like, say, business cards, or like being out there and just handing out business cards randomly, say for like an actual marketing thing, would that help build up your channel, or is that not really one of the better ways to go by it?
The best way to build up your channel is going to be 100% being active in other chats. One of the things that's like the next thing on the list outside of being active in your community is essentially, that is next, right? Yeah, literally number 5. Learn to make friends. I've been talking with a lot of other stream coaches about this, but one of the best ways to grow your channel is to be active in other streams in that community. Not even just to say that you're a streamer in those streams, like to promote your stream, but like literally just getting involved in other streams, learning what other streamers do, learning what other streamers do in your community, learning why they do what they do. I always tell people, pick 2 channels that are like at the top of the directory, 2 channels that have 100 more viewers than you, and then 2 channels that are about the same size as yours. The reason for that is the channels at the top of the directory are going to be like your hub worlds, your cities. Those are the ones that are going to draw the most people, but more importantly, that because it's drawing the most people, it's going to draw the most conversation. It's more likely to be where the devs are at. If there's a special event going on, there's more likely where the people are going to talk about it. A lot of people, I know some of the people here are World of Warcraft fans. Within 20 minutes of Method getting world first kill of Kill Jaden, which is a really big deal last expansion, I knew about it because I was in one of my friend's chats. He was one of the highest mages, but I was in his chat, and within 20 minutes of them getting that kill. Gotcha. All right, they're gonna kick us out of here. All right, cool. We're kicking us out of here. I will be doing another panel tomorrow. For you guys who didn't get to see me here, if you guys have any other questions, I have some business cards. You can hit me up on Twitter. I'll be floating around the convention, just kind of walking around. If you guys want to ask me anything. And yeah, I apologize for kind of short on time this time. I will also, I'll be here tomorrow. Do you know what time the panel is tomorrow? Actually, I have no paper. Hold on.
I have a schedule.
Saturday. The Dark Side of Twitch, 8 p.m. Same room.
Is that an 18+ one or?
It's not necessarily like an 18+ panel. It's more just talking about some of the more serious things of streaming. So like dealing with swatting, doxing, trolls, things like that. I'll definitely need to be here for that. All the things you need to know about the Dark Side of Twitch, streamer beef, things like that. So
I don't get why people swat.
And that was it. That was the end of my Shinecon panel, at least the first one from Shinecon 2018. That was my So You Want to Be a Twitch Streamer Partner Push panel. I wanted to thank you guys for watching the video again. If you enjoyed it, if you want to see more like it, please feel free to let me know. Outside of that, I really don't have too much to say, but thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? Take care, everybody. Before I do go, one last thing. If you want to know where to find me, follow me down there on Twitter, Facebook, all that other stuff. If you want to see me when I go live, I'm on Twitch, right up here. Click either of those, type those things in, or all links to all those things will be in the description right below. Either way, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.
Thanks, bye.